Alright, so this is what I have. And I'm going to save this color map out as general store. Okay, so image, save image as, work in progress directory. General store color map, and hit save. And then in here, I'm also going to bake my OCC real quick for this one. Margin 0, bake ambient occlusion. Has to be in object mode for that to work. Alright, so there's some shading I could put on there. General store OCC, save that out. And now before I go to the general store and start building that, it would be smart of me to go in here and paint the rest of these parts. So I wanted to kind of explain the process for that is very, very easy in the fact that I just need 2 maps. So what would be the best way to do that? Let's see. I know exactly what. Okay, this is how I'm going to develop my 2 maps. I'm going to make a darker variation and a lighter variation. So in here, I'm going to add a new mesh plane. Okay, this is going to be my map generator. So all I do here is hit A, U, unwrap, and that takes up the full 0:1 ratio. And then I'll go image, new image, and I'll call this teal paint. Remember, I could reduce the quality back in the Unity game engine, so 2048 by 2048. And I'm just going to paint this teal. Hopefully I still have that color. I do. I have the darker variation here. So the darker variation is 0.4 and the brighter variation is 0.8. Then this will be very cool how I can keep switching colors. I'll still have to do the UVs, of course, but and I'll be able to adjust the colors on these. Like if I find them too bright or too light, I can do an exposure on them. I can do levels. I can do ramps on hue, so they're all within the same hue. So all kinds of crazy stuff because I'm separating it via materials. Okay, so this is very boring, I know, but it'll pay off in the end. Again, make sure you cover all of this. And you want it to fade it or be as less textury as possible as far as black is concerned. You don't want any darks in this. So sometimes you're going to have to just go like that. And if you can't get an outline to not disappear, that's where you use the curve. So here's my curve. If I bring this curve in closer here, sometimes that can help my outline. So I'll just play around with that idea. There we go. Now I have no black outline whatsoever. So that curve, if you screw up making your brush, this will help. Okay, I think I got enough of this on here. It's a nice uniform spatial texture that I could use. I'm just going to compare it to the other one. How I do that is I go back to object mode, click on this one, click on edit mode A, and switch out that map. So open image, and I want that general store color map. Then I'm going to switch back to texture mode. So I'm just going to put this side by side with that to make sure the resolution's the same. And yes, it is. Okay, so I'll go into edit mode on this one, and I'm going to save this out as dark teal. So dark teal paint has got its own map now. And now I need the light teal, which was 0.8. Now I could, I don't want to be that lazy. I would say I could take it back in GIMP and just lower down. There's that variation. I think this is what takes the longest as far as trying to think how you're going to be able to do all this and without making too many individualized mapping. You know, like the general store was different because I had to burn or I had to put text on it. Now I could have made maybe the store, you know, the general store thing. It could have been maybe a transparency that sat on the top. Nobody would have known, and then I could have went on my merry way. But this way you can get the idea of individualized parts next to reusable assets and reusable materials and textures. Again, I'm just kind of comparing those resolutions. This resolution compared to the resolution there on the other one, just to make sure it's all good, kosher. Those who work on Blender, please put a fill tool in, please. And put a projectional tool in here too. You know, where you can click and drag a box and it just drags it right on top. like the sculpting area has. That would be a nice one too to have. Just some hints. Take it from the texture guy. Alright, there we go. Look at that resolution. Isn't that amazing? Now you can't, you can go out with a digital camera, and I got a pretty nice digital camera, and I don't think I could have captured it any better because it's so subtle. That's what I love about it. This is light teal. Alright, now that I have those two textures and everything else, let's see how we're going to be using these from here on out in the next video.